Hey everybody, this is Joshua Stephenson with Berkshire Hathaway, and I am joined by my wonderful friend.
Hi, I'm Darlene with Berkshire Hathaway as well.
What's your last name, Darlene?
Zarco.
Ooh, I love that name. Zarco.
Thank you.
Tell me where that's from.
So I'm actually first generation Mexican American, and in Mexico, Zarco means somebody with like green eyes.
Okay.
Which my family has a lot of green eyes in, which is really cool.
I didn't know that. That's cool. So speaking of Mexico, big into soccer, right?
Huge.
And we had the World Cup final yesterday.
Yep.
How did you feel about Messi getting his World Cup?
Hot take, I don't like Messi.
What?
I don't like him.
Why don't you like Messi?
I don't know. He is super like goofy when he's himself.
Yeah.
But then he's like too arrogant for me.
He is one of the best players in the history of the game.
He's all right.
He has... What?
Okay, he's going up against Mbappe, okay? Mbappe is the best player in the world at the current moment.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with him being like the best of all time?
I don't agree.
Why? Who's your GOAT for soccer?
I mean...
Do not say Cristiano Ronaldo. Do not do it.
Ew, no, never.
You don't like his abs?
I don't like him at all. I'm sorry. His eyebrows can't be prettier than mine.
Well, he does. He is like a multi-millionaire, so he could have like the sculpting.
Yeah.
I mean, I get my eyebrows done.
Yes, but yours
look pretty good.
Yours look natural though. His look like he gets them microbladed and they just look better than mine, and I'm just not okay with that.
So you're jealous?
I don't think it's jealous because I wouldn't want those eyebrows.
But you would want nice eyebrows.
I feel like I have nice eyebrows.
You do have nice eyebrows.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, what are we doing here today?
Well, our podcast is called Quips and Tips, and we started off with one part of it. So obviously we're both realtors, and we're just kind of here to share real estate knowledge and have a good time.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is our first podcast, and so my thought was, and we talked about this before. What do we want to do? Well, let's kind of like introduce ourselves to our listeners, the zero that we have currently, but hopefully exponentially growing. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Darlene. What's who are you? How'd you get into real estate? Tell us kind of what you're wanting to do with all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Darlene Zarco. I pretty much grew up in the Springs. I was born in Southern California, but I've lived here pretty much my whole life. Mm-hmm. I am a second generation realtor. My mom's been doing real estate in Colorado Springs for 20 years. And she is one of the biggest reasons I initially got into real estate. But as my business has kind of developed, I've kind of realized that this is actually a passion of mine. Mm-hmm. So, the biggest thing for my business is helping our community and empowering our community and helping them build financial wealth.
Yeah, you told me a little bit about that before. Mm-hmm. Why is that, specifically important in terms of building wealth and is it like the Colorado Springs community, or do you have like a community in mind when you say that? I mean, my heart, obviously I am first generation Mexican American, so my heart is with the Hispanic and Latinx community of Colorado Springs, but I want to see everyone succeed. Okay. I think we all deserve a space, and I think home ownership, I don't think people realize is such a big tool in building financial wealth. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because your parents have done that, right? Through different rental properties and things like that, right?
They have. My parents have been really smart with their money, and ever since they were really young, they've kind of known that's what they wanted to do. So it's cool because my dad was able to retire because they have rental properties.
That's pretty awesome. How old is your dad?
64.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So gets to enjoy the last parts of his life in relative like peace and security, right?
Yes.
And that's what everybody wants.
Exactly.
Pretty sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so for yourself, like what have you kind of taken away from real estate over the life? Because you've been in about a year and a half, is that right? A
little bit over 2 years, actually.
Yeah. So what's kind of been your biggest lesson that you've learned and want to share with everybody?
I think the biggest thing is it's the first time in my life where I don't have consistent income.
Yeah.
Like just on a personal aspect. So that is really weird to me because I don't get my check every 2 weeks. Right. So I have to be very mindful with my money, which I thought I was until I got into real estate. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I don't just have money coming to my account. I actually have to watch what's in there. So that's been kind of a blessing to be able to like learn that, because I feel like that's how my parents really accomplished what they did, was just being really stingy with their money.
Yeah.
And just, it's not even stingy. They were just really smart with their money and
frugal.
Yeah, they weren't that frugal though. Like my brother and I never went without. And like if we wanted something, like I was the kid who every Sunday my feet would hurt and we'd go to the playground and my mom would have to buy me shoes at, Mervin's on the way to
Mervin's.
Yes.
Throwback
to the Mervins.
Throwback
to the Mervins. That's awesome. Yeah, it was actually right up the street.
Okay,
Anyways,
nice.
Yeah.
Gone now though. Peace.
Gone.
Peace
It's a hospital
Mervins.
now. But,
hospital?
Yeah, it's where the UC Health admin building is.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Anyways,
cool.
yeah, little tidbit. That's how you know I've lived here for a long time.
So you're a native, right?
For the natives, that's how you know I'm legit.
There you go.
I know where the Mervins was.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. I'm not a native. I'm a Texan originally, so I'm sorry.
No,
Came
it's
to your
okay.
state.
You've been here a while though, haven't
10
you?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I made 4 natives. So
Yes,
with
that
my
counts.
wife, we
Thank
have
you.
4 children
Yeah.
who are native Coloradans,
There you go.
all born here. So
There you go.
I'm like a, adopted Coloradan.
Yeah,
I think so. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
Because you Coloradans you're kind of like, you get irritated about that native thing. You know?
I don't know why people are like that. I'm not like that. I don't think.
But you have they have the sticker.
I don't have the sticker.
Well,
but
what I
some
mean is
people do.
there is a sticker.
Yes, there is a sticker. There are
is-
some people that are like, we were born here.
It's like Texans. Like Texans are very proud to be Texans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with Texas. We'll kick your butt. You know.
That's a whole thing.
And the Coloradans are like, we're natives. You guys are second class citizens because you migrated here. You know, you came here.
Transplants.
Oh, there we go. The transplants. Okay. Cool. Well, for me, I'm not a long time real estater in terms of, family background or anything like that. My background is mostly, I was a biochemistry major, which apparently people don't know.
I did not know that about you. That's
See?
fascinating.
I need to put this in my link tree or somewhere. It's like,
do.
I have a biology and biochemistry degree
That
somewhere.
is fascinating.
It was funny. I was talking to my friend Steven the other day, my past clients, my forever clients, say that, excuse me, for
Yes.
the Berkshire Hathaway TM branded,
Yep.
And we were talking, and I was like, I know this biology. We were talking about vaccinations. We were talking about the whole pandemic thing, and it's like, I had a biochemistry background, so I could kind of understand, what was going on in terms of what did the vaccine do, and what did the virus do, and kind of all that stuff. And he's like, you have a bio major? He was like, yeah. It's like, I know you're smart, but oh yeah, okay, that's cool. So maybe I play dumb on TV,
I don't think it's you play dumb. I wouldn't see you as like a science dude.
Really?
Yeah, you're more a talky dude.
Yeah.
So I could see you having some sort of like poli-sci background.
Bill Nye, he was talky. He wasn't really a scientist though. He's an architect, I think, or an engineer or something. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's very talky.
He is very talky, but it's different talky.
Sometimes too talky for me.
Teach their own.
Indeed. He's fun though. He's entertaining.
Yes, absolutely.
But I got into real estate in 2018 as a way to help. This is the most cliche thing you can say in the history of real estate. I wanted to help people, which was true. But also from a pragmatic perspective, I was doing some ministry in the city. I was, doing some fundraising, and that really wasn't my jam. And from the very beginning of my working career, I'd always wanted to be connected to people. So providing value, connecting to people, being a resource, in the community. I'm a believer in Jesus. I've always wanted to find ways to connect with people who didn't share the same faith that I could, so I could share that faith with them in certain ways. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted to do real estate. Plus, it didn't cost very much to get started, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
They should tell you should have a lot of money when you want to start real estate. That would be nice to know.
Yeah.
Have 6 months of savings, that would be helpful because you may not have a closing for 6 months.
Absolutely.
Which was my story. It was March to September, just working and grinding and trying to build some momentum for the business. But once we got going, it's been a good ride. There's been ups and downs. I think you've probably seen it with your mom over the years. Hey, I had a good 6 months, right? A really bad 6 months.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more about kind of you and what you. As far as your experience so far in real estate, what's been the biggest takeaway that you've because you kind of started in the pandemic, right?
Yeah, I started in August of 2020. So my schooling was all online, even though I really wanted in person.
Yeah.
And I was kind of scared that I wasn't actually going to accomplish it, but I did. So I was really proud of myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think getting your real estate license in the middle of the pandemic was really interesting for me because it was very different to everything I've seen my mom doing up until that point. And it was one of the first times where my mom was like, I don't know how to do business virtually. My mom's like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
She was like, Will Ferrell and Talladega Nights, I don't know what to do with my hands. So it was really cool to be able to I have my license, and I feel like because I worked the full 6 months, the first 6 months that I was licensed, I worked full time just because I wanted that extra padding of cash.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of knew things, like I saw my mom's business, and I was like, there's no point in me quitting my job right now because I'm not going to do very much right now.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nice because the few deals my mom did have, that like stuff that she did do, I was able to actually help her, and I actually knew what I was talking about instead of just being like, click that button to save documents, you know? So,
Well, and you're pretty tech savvy, in terms of, things like that. So I bet you're able to help with some of the, like, tech stuff, advertising, doing some social media.
Yeah, and like
you love the TikTok, I think, right?
I do.
We're TikTok friends now.
We are TikTok friends. It's really nice.
Do you like my TikToks? Have you seen them yet?
I have not seen your TikToks, but I will go watch them now.
They're really short. They're like the 15 seconds.
I like those.
Like day in the life. Hey, I'm at a coffee shop getting ready to do XYZ kind of thing.
You love your local coffee shops.
Listen, Frankly Coffee. Frankly, see?
Oh, is that where this is from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it good?
It's really good, actually.
It could not be good.
We got vanilla lattes, 10 out of 10 recommend.
Half sweet, full sweet, because I'm a baby on those things.
You're a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
I want to taste the coffee,
I don't.
You don't want to taste the coffee?
So caffeine and alcohol are the exact same thing for me. I don't want to taste it. Just give me what I need out of it.
Give me all of it. Yeah.
Fool me into it.
Did you know that it's actually not great to have coffee relatively close after you wake up?
I could imagine.
So the thing is, you're supposed to wait till you're about like 3 or 4 hours awake. So like if you wake up at 6, like 10, wake up at 7, 11, like have your first coffee kind of later, because it prevents that like big crash that you have in the afternoons usually.
Really?
Yeah, and it helps you sleep later. So.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah.
I had this idea the other day. Talking about goal setting. You set goals?
I do set goals.
Yeah.
I set weird goals, though.
What do you mean?
I, aim really low. So then when
Lowest expectations.
Just like that. Just like that. Because then when I surpass them, I'm like, oh, I can actually do this. And then, I don't know. I'd rather set 4 goals throughout the year than set one big goal and have that leaning over me,
Yeah. What if you had to set, gun to your head, had to set like a big goal for 2023, what's that goal? It doesn't have to be real estate related, just like a big goal for yourself personally that you want to see yourself accomplish. What would that be?
I want to get a new car in 2023.
Okay. Wait for the bubble to crash because it's coming, baby.
Yeah.
Those police auctions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I bought a house this year, and I bought, it was a repo, so it needed a lot of work. Well, it wasn't a repo. It was going into foreclosure. Yeah. But it needed a lot of work. So my savings account is looking scary just because I am used to having that 6 months there. I'm just like, ready to go.
It's in your house.
I know, but that's not like liquid,
No, definitely not.
I have to work really hard to get it out.
You could get a home equity line or something.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that myself personally.
Not quite yet.
Right now.
Not quite yet.
The market's a little wonky.
Yeah.
Really.
What do you think is going to happen this next year in real estate?
Yeah, if I knew that, I would be placing a lot of bets.
But what's if you had to make a prediction?
Sure. I would say that it's not going to be as bad as people think. Like the catastrophic people are like, 40%, blah, blah, blah. Interesting stat is the real estate market's never gone down more than 10% in a year. Like back in the 2006, 7, 8, that time frame. Yeah, it went down nationally like almost 40%. But it wasn't in 1 year. It was like a slow, train wreck.
Fascinating.
And so, I'm not convinced that there's going to be a huge, there might be an economic downturn, but I'm not convinced there's going to be a huge real estate downturn. Primarily because most people who have mortgages are under 4%. I think it's 80%. Now if there's a huge layoff crisis, we have unemployment that goes up a whole lot, then we could see I think pretty massive downturn in terms of the real estate market, but I'm not convinced that that's going to happen at this point. I think our economy is pretty resilient despite our politicians on both sides.
Yes.
You thought I was going to take a shot, didn't you?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
we can agree to disagree.
I'm not saying we didn't even disagree on anything. We have different politics, just so everybody
If you couldn't
knows.
tell.
They're not that different. She's kind of like, libertarian on lots of things, financially, but socially, a little different, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong, just so our audience knows it's okay to be wrong about
It feels
stuff.
the same way about my music choices, and it really bothers me.
Music choices are terrible.
They are not.
Okay.
They are not.
Just 2 words. Bad Bunny. All right. Just go listen to some Bad Bunny.
And you will be
then you
so
will know
happy.
How bad her music choices are.
Bad Bunny just makes you he just gets you ready,
It's terrible.
Or he can help you through your heartbreak.
I knew we were going to get here.
Yeah.
To the Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised we got here.
I don't really like music though, so we've talked about this before.
Yes.
I like some music.
I like most music.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
not discriminating.
Yeah. I mean, I'll listen to just about anything. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad Bunny is bad.
Bad Bunny's great.
Terrible.
Benito, if you're watching, hi. He's not watching.
He's not watching.
Nor will he ever.
Yeah. Maybe we could tag him on Twitter or something, And
he gets tagged in so much stuff.
Is he on the Twitter?
He's on the Twitter. He's on the TikTok.
Okay.
His TikToks are so chaotic.
Yeah.
I love them.
Do you like Twitter?
I am not very interactive on Twitter.
It's more of like a read stuff.
More of a headlines come across my phone and I'm like, oh, that's cool. AOC said this. Cool.
Okay.
And that's it.
You love Elon Musk.
Next.
You like the Teslas? Teslas are cool.
I do like Teslas.
And SpaceX is neat.
Yes. Actually, have you seen the new Priuses?
Not yet.
They're pretty cool looking. I was telling my brother I want to get a Tesla, and he just sent me a link to a Prius. No words, just.
Is it Toyota?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how before they were super ugly. Now they're
probably still pretty ugly.
Well, they look like Teslas.
Oh.
Yeah, they have the Tessie Model X, Model Y vibe. Yeah.
So they're just copying the best car. Is that what they're saying here? The best electric car.
Yeah, but it's half the price. So yeah.
But is it nearly as cool?
I don't know. I haven't.
It's probably got it's probably the B version.
Probably.
It's the Walmart brand versus the Nordstrom's brand.
I mean, probably. Yeah.
Stitching's gonna come off in 6 months. You wash it 4 times.
Yeah, probably. Actually.
The drive assist is gonna be oh, there's a stop sign. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Oh,
this
goodness.
is ridiculous.
Yes.
Have we descended into ridiculous territory yet?
Not quite yet.
This is where we wanted to go, though, right?
Yeah,
this is how we want this to be.
Exactly. This is definitely how we are in the office.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why we want to start this.
Yeah, exactly.
The world needs to know.
Maybe we can monetize our ridiculousness. It'd be fun.
Not just that, but I feel like people perceive realtors in a certain way.
Yeah.
I feel like we have such a bad stigma that we're cheesy car salesmen and we're out there doing these videos and we're not like that at all.
Have I told you my joke about realtors?
No, tell me your joke.
At our worst, I'm going to say myself, at their worst, we'll just no distance from this.
Yes.
The realtor is the combination of the 3 worst jobs. Lawyer, used car salesman, telemarketer.
God.
Just put them together, you get a bad realtor.
Facts. Facts.
And yeah, I think, perception is a big deal, because I've talked to people, I'm sure you've talked to people too. It's well, you guys aren't worth your money.
Right. Right.
It's you didn't do anything. It's well, that sucks.
Yeah.
From as a business owner, as a person who this is my business, I don't want the perception to be you're terrible. You make too much money, blah, blah, blah. It's we provide a service, that we're specialized and trained to do. And as you start this process, like anything, you're not super great at the beginning, right?
Right.
And that's why you work on different skill sets, you work on connections, you work on hey, let me learn how to do XYZ things, and then you get good at it, and then you're okay, now I'm at a point where I'm providing probably more value than what I'm costing.
Right.
And I think that's the important thing.
I think so. And I think especially now with realtor.com and all those websites, people are well, I can find the house I want. And it's yeah, but you have to get through the entire contract.
Right.
Do you know what the contract says? If you were to read it, do you know what you're actually signing? And it's that's where my value comes, is because I had to take 2 exams, not just one, but I had to take a Colorado one and a national one, saying that I know what that means.
Yeah. And then we have to do continuing education,
Yep.
You know, like what's it, 24 hours every 3 years,
Every
something
3
like
years,
that.
yeah.
You know, and our team that we're on, like we have a kind of stricter requirement for that. It's like you got to do 30 hours a year.
A year, yeah.
And so we want it 3 times. You know what? We're doing 3 times the education that, you know, what is like the bare minimum requirements.
Right.
And I think that's another thing, you know, as far as like our value when we talk about it to, you know, our clients and customers, like, yeah, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm educated. You know, like I'm one of the, you know, this is the old joke. It's like, what do you call a med student who got C's? Doctor. Right? Yes. So they're still doctor
Yes.
at the end. Yeah, it's like, you know, but we want to be like the A+ doctors, you know. Like, what'd you get in med school? All A's. Oh, okay, more trustworthy.
Right.
It's like versus the one who got all C's. It's like, can I not see you today? You diagnosed my cough as something, you know, something weird. Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, and so for you, Darlene, like when you talk about value as a real estate agent, what do you see yourself, like where do you see your value?
I think especially like in Colorado Springs, I grew up here, so I can tell you about every single neighborhood here. I've been in them, I've been around them, and like with my mom's background, I can tell you what the market in Colorado Springs has done for the past 20 years. Because like going back to like our predictions for the year and how you think it's not going to be bad. If you think about Colorado Springs, like it's never quite been that bad because we're very lucky. We have 4 military bases here. So that's kind of like a little bubble for us because the military loves to send people all over the place. Yeah. So people are always coming in and out of the city. Yeah. And I think one of our partners, Daniel Rodriguez, was talking about it in a video the other day. Daniel. We love Danielito. But he was talking about how he does.
He's a giant human.
He's just yoked,
man. He is yoked.
Yep. Distracted.
Strong like bull.
Anyways, he was talking about how Colorado Springs is like one of the top cities that like people live in the shortest amount of time. Yep. So like for real estate, like that's actually pretty good because it means our market is constantly like active. You know what I mean? Because like even in the pandemic, like there was a really low shortage of supply, but like it was still there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we had more supply than other places in the country.
Well, we wouldn't have much.
But if you look at like, because I have family in Southern California, and they were talking about the market out there, and I was like, that's scary. Yeah. And then I looked at the market here, and it's like it's scary, but not as scary. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think our appreciation over the last few years was incredible, right? I think we had like a 12, 16, 25%, you know, year over year appreciation. But there's some markets like Boise, I think, Las Vegas, like Phoenix, they were like up 40, like 65% in like a very, very short period of time. Maybe 1 year they had that kind of appreciation. And the nice thing is that we didn't have that. Right. And so whatever correction, you know, or things that we may, well, I think we are experiencing currently, like I don't think it's going to hurt as bad. Right. There'll be some people it does hurt because they bought at the peak and then they got to sell real fast. Like that's going to be a challenge, and we're going to have to like figure out creative ways like to, you know, help those folks. Yeah, to help those folks out of that situation. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm convinced that we're not going to see huge if things are as they are right now. Right. Right. You know, we continue to see like good, you know, inflation is going down, which is good. I think the Fed is still working on their rate increases, which, you know, I think Jerome Powell said, hey, we want to crash the housing market. Did he say those things? He said it. Yeah. He said it. So, Papa Powell, appreciate you. Love ya. Well, you know, when you think about that, it's like sometimes dads have to do things that are not fun. Yeah. Right. And he's not our dad, obviously, but, you know, from that, where he's his leadership position, right? You know, you have to do things that your kids don't like. Right. This happens all the time in my house. I have four kids, right? And so the little baby girl is exempt from all the things right now because she's 10 months old. She can like poke me in the eye or like kick me in the groin or something. Like it's like, oh, you're so sweet, you know. But my boys, 9, 4, and 2, it's like, if you don't do the thing that I've asked you to do, there will be pain. You know, not physical pain, but like consequences. Yeah. Right? You know, there will be consequences for your actions. So, you know, like my son yesterday did not nap. Uh-oh. Okay. Uh-oh. He was told to nap. He did not nap. Uh-oh. So he asked for a snack after he did not nap. Uh-huh. What did Dad say? No.
because you did not nap. It's like, you're not going to starve. You've never missed a meal in your entire life. You're going to be fine. We're going to eat. We ate dinner early, so everyone was fine. But it's like, there are consequences for, bad behavior.
Right.
And the thing about the Fed, which drives me crazy, it's like, it's their fault. Right? Like, it was their bad behavior that caused the bubbly housing market.
Okay.
Do you know why? Or
why? Educate me.
How do you think?
No, educate
Okay, so what did they do when the pandemic happened?
What did they do?
Yeah. Do you know?
No.
So they dropped rates to like 0.
They were like 2%.
Well, the mortgage rates were like 2%, but the funds rate, the one that they've been raising for banks to borrow money from each other was 0.
Yes.
Effectively. And so, mortgage rates, because the Fed rates are 0, they're going to be really, really low. And they kept them there forever, for like a year and a half. They were like 0. And so you had the conditions were perfect for a housing bubble because you had cheap money, right? Cheap other people's money. We like that, which is awesome, right? But that also caused, what did we see in our market? We saw huge appraisal gaps, right?
Huge appraisal gaps.
Yeah. What was the biggest one you had?
So one of my clients was trying to buy a home, and we tried to put in a bid. The appraisal gap was at $80,000.
Wow.
Yes. $80,000. They waived inspection, and they waived, obviously, the appraisal. Yeah. So it's just like, that's...
The person who got the house?
Yes.
Not your
my
client.
No, my client could never.
Yeah.
My client could never.
Yeah, and so I had a couple listings that they just came in with unlimited appraisal gaps.
Yeah.
Like whatever it appraises for, or we're still going to pay this price. It's like a guaranteed contract price. Right? I was like, holy crap,
Yeah.
And I mean, the houses were great houses,
right.
But in terms of like the frenzy around them was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And as a realtor, it's like, well, what do you do? Like, well, you have to work within the best interest of your client.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so on the buy side, it was like, what do you want?
Right.
Do you want a house? Okay, this is what it's going to take to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, do you feel good about that? And if you don't, let's not do this.
Right.
I think we had those conversations with our people. Right?
Yeah.
And on the listing side, it's like, well, it's crazy. Just enjoy.
Just sit back and watch your
best,
60 showings in 2 days.
Yeah, we'll get you the best deal. I had this one client. This was funny. She was, we had it on the market, $575, which I thought was like a good price. Like it's probably right at the market price. And then we got, we had 16 showings in like 2 days, and we didn't have an offer after the first day. And she was like, Josh, I'm really disappointed. We don't have an offer. It's like, listen, it's the first day. Just give us some time, okay? So that next day we got, this full. It was, 50,000 over with that appraisal gap up to like 650 or something crazy. It's like, okay, is that better? It's like, yeah, you did good. It's like, okay, thanks.
Yay.
But you had these conditions that were created by this like low interest rate environment, and now the Fed's like, oh, our bad.
Yeah.
we have to walk it back, instead of just saying, okay, like we got through the initial like scary part of the pandemic, and there's still people who are concerned about it and understand that, but as far as like, we're not locked in our houses anymore.
Right.
We don't have to wear masks all the time. We can go to the gym without, my gym was like 50 people at a time for an hour. It was weird. Did you ever see that?
No.
Yeah, Vasa, they were like, you can have a 1 hour window, and it's only like 50 to 100 people in the gym at the same time, which is kind of nice. But then they told you had to leave 5 minutes early, so it was a really weird situation.
Interesting.
So I had to go like 2 hour blocks.
Yeah.
But that's basically over. We're not worried about that anymore. But what they didn't do is start the interest rate increases soon enough. Like they, hindsight's 2020, obviously.
Right.
But if they would have started like in August of 2020, right, just like little increases back to like some normal rate, then we wouldn't have had 2021.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have had potentially, maybe we would still, but we wouldn't have had as much inflation as we would have. And the government contributed. They just passed like 2, huge spending bills and all that stuff. And that obviously made it a little worse too. But anyways, so is my economic rant for the last 3 minutes.
Thank you. This is what we do in the office every day, just so everyone's aware. Like, this is literally our daily life in the office.
It is pretty fun.
And I like it because I learn a lot from you.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I learn a lot from you too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that's why we work really well together, because I think the core of our business is making sure that our clients, whether past, present, or future, are educated and do know what's going on and what's in the best interest for them. You know, going back to when you were talking about those crazy appraisal gaps, as a new agent, I was really scared to be like, yeah, you have to bring 60 grand cash to the table just to like even compete.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely like a conversation that I had to come to you and our brokers and just be like, how do I have this? Because it feels inherently wrong to me.
Well, I mean, there's challenges to that.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that?
I think it, like you said, it came down to like what's in the best interest of the client and what is their need. Because although like I personally may not do that, it's giving us a thing.
Let me do this.
It didn't that.
There we go.
There we go.
Back at it.
Back at it. I was saying, as I'm personally wouldn't have bought in that market. I didn't buy in that market. There's people who didn't have a choice.
Right.
So how do we help them navigate it and get it in the best possible circumstances? You know, and I got very lucky because a lot of my clients were able to come in with either low or no appraisal gaps, because what we started doing was looking at back-end markets.
Yep.
And just hitting those.
Yeah.
Those
well, and that's kind of the cool thing, you know, if you think about, like, any realtor can, you know, put you on the MLS and they can, you know, set you up with a search and, oh, this one popped up, this is a new on market, and go get it, right? Like that, anybody can kind of do that. But what you said is how I got a couple people under contract, and really it's about building rapport with the other agents, right? It's like, hey, we want to connect with you. I've been using this script a lot with other agents as I'm showing houses now, because now the listing agents will call you back, you know, and talk to you about stuff. But I don't want to be resentful of the way that things were for the past couple of years. So I saying, hey, you know, Darlene, showing your listing today. Just wanted to collaborate with you a little bit and tell me what are the best features of this house that I can highlight for my clients so we can sell this thing together. It's that kind of language that I've started to use. And it's been it's been well received by the listing agents in terms of how we're communicating. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think it shows that you have like the intent of like working well with the other agent as well. And because it really is like, we have to be a team. Even though we're representing opposite parties, like we have to be a team in order to get things to the closing table. Yeah.
I heard this, and tell me what you think about this. It's like, houses compete, agents collaborate.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
What do you love about it?
Because I think it's true. And it's like part of like the core of our ethics is like we are all working together, and our main goal is to make sure that our community is thriving, and we're looking out for the best interest of both of our clients. Yeah. And what's the best interest? Getting to the closing table.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, hey, we've been going for a little while. I think we can start to wrap this up here in just a minute. What do you hope that this podcast kind of does for you, for me, for just our people? Yeah, for us personally, I think it's a great opportunity for our clients to see like us, not just like, because I feel like when we're in like work mode, we're a little bit different. We're still ourselves always, but I feel like we're a little bit more like, you know, rigid, buttoned up. Yes. And this is just us talking. You know, I feel like we're in the office right now, and I'm about to pull out my computer and play some Bad Bunny to make you mad. But gonna throw a political bomb and just walk away. Oh my God, you are so good at that. And I'm just like, why? But I think for us, it's an opportunity to get closer as friends. 1, 2, it's an opportunity for our clients to see a different side of us. And 3, it's a really good opportunity for our clients to kind of learn from us while having a little bit of fun. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I'm excited. I think there's lots of things we can talk about. I'm kind of pumped to have some guests maybe once in a while. That'd be great. Maybe have Charles come and some other of our partners who are just like, hey, we want to be a part of something fun that's going on. My hope, very similar to yours, is one, I'm a verbal processor, like I'm a verbal thinker. And so like having these conversations and digging into, well, what's working, what's not working, those kinds of things is very helpful for me at least. And so I'm excited to, connect with you on this personal side, but also the business side, and then be able to like, hey, we're learning from each other. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, absolutely. And all right, well, gets to see. Well, this has been Quips and Tips with Josh and Darlene. Any last words? Nope. See you guys next week. Peace. Bye.